So welcome to Strange Paths, a podcast where we read Choose Your Adventure style stories. We are your hosts. I'm Paul.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm Megan.
And let's get right to part 2 of Oceans 3.
We've been waiting for weeks, possibly months.
Possibly days, possibly an hour, who knows?
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
we need to get right back into it.
Put on your snorkels. Put on your turtle masks.
Get your boiled eggs.
Get your boiled turtle.
Mm.
All right. Okay, so we're going to go way back, and I guess it's my turn to read again for Garglock volunteering to read about the alarm systems.
Danny, I can do it. It's been a while, but I'm pretty sure I remember how to read.
Garglock offered.
I should be able to find the info I need on the internet.
Great, Danny smiled. Gargy, that's great. See, this is why we needed you. That night, Danny went to his hotel just outside of Atlantic City. He sighed to himself as he stared at the ceiling fan. You're not bored, are you, Danny? Danny Ocean yelped and jumped straight up, but by the time his feet hit the ground, he had regained his composure. Rusty, what are you doing here? You haven't been honest with us. This whole plan wasn't out of boredom, was it? Danny looked Rusty right in the eye with the practiced gaze of a lifelong thief. Being a landlord isn't as exciting as the movies would lead you to believe. Rusty leaned against the bathroom. Huh. That was my laundering business. Come on, man. Go with what works. Rusty took a step forward and slid out a Slim Jim from his sleeve. Come clean, Danny. What's this all about? Danny put his hands out exasperated. I'm bored, okay? Tess is great, but she doesn't get my heart thumping.
Oh.
You always had trouble going straight. He then realized what he just said.
Oh, and then he kissed him.
I meant legit. Legit, Danny. Danny laughed and sat on the bed. No, you're right. The lawful life isn't for me.
I wish it was like, no, you didn't.
But it was tolerable when it was in America.
Kiss,
Rusty.
kiss, 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 kiss.
Yeah.
Rusty's eyes widened and he sprinted to the door, closing it gently. What are you saying? Danny just looked forward and made no effort to quiet his voice. I'm saying that someone needs to save America. He turned to Rusty. We aren't stealing money. We aren't stealing gems, Rusty. We're stealing our freedom. Rusty took a snap from his Slim Jim.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice pun. Danny furrowed his brow. Pun? Rusty sat on the bed. Yeah, stealing our freedom. You might mean like stealing yourself. Danny shook his head skeptically.
Or stealing something that's free.
Well, like stealing like S-T-E-E.
I got it.
Okay.
I was making another pun.
Danny shook his head skeptically. No, I don't think that works in this case. It doesn't? Rusty thought. Well, I don't think our freedom is stored at the Atlantic City Aquarium. Danny smiled. The Resistance seems to think it is. Rusty clapped his hands to his lap and stood up. He started to walk out. Rusty, you still in? Danny, who do you think your contact in the Resistance is? Don't tell Gargy. He won't be happy. Rusty left Danny alone in his room. What a blindside. Tess would be able to center him, but he really should get some sleep. So you can call Tess or go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
I mean, I feel like you need some time apart from Tess.
Yeah.
She doesn't get your heart thumping, so you need to get it back. Get that groove back by going to sleep.
That's how I get my groove back too.
Yeah, I feel so much groovier.
That's how Stella got her groove back,
Yeah.
too,
Yeah,
right?
she
took a nap.
The movie was
Yeah.
It's
boring.
a really short movie.
Very close up on her face for hours.
Yeah. She makes some weird sleep faces.
It was late, and despite all the plot developments, I mean, wow, the world continues to change even as turtles go about their lives in a river. Despite all those plot developments, Danny was tired. He laid watching that ceiling fan again, and then closed his eyes, and he was asleep. The next morning, he and Rusty met at the warehouse. They didn't speak of their conversation the previous night. Diligently, they reset up the vault as best they knew how. Garglock strolled in wearing a fedora and sunglasses.
Sorry I'm late, guys. I kind of forgot how to tell time.
Rusty ran to him and knelt down smiling. Hey, no problem, Gargy. You wouldn't be a ton of help setting this whole thing up anyway. He stood up and reached into the fridge. You want some breakfast? We got lettuce.
Aw.
Nah, Rusty, I'm good. Danny, have you heard of YouTube? They've got a video on everything.
Danny smirked at Rusty and looked back to Garglock. No, Garglock, what is that? Some sort of movie theater? Garglock climbed atop the large boulder they procured for him to act as a chair.
Aw.
No, it's a website with hundreds of videos. Hold on, I want to try something.
Garglock cleared his throat and whispered as soft as he could.
Clear your throat.
Does this make your neck tingle?
Ew.
Rusty shook his head and Danny grimaced. No, you're just whispering.
I guess he's trying to do ASMR.
Must be doing it wrong.
Garglock shook his head.
Anyway, there were like 4 videos on disarming alarms, just like the one we're going to encounter.
Rusty ran to the staging area with a bowl of salad. You learned how to disable a security system from the internet? Garglock nodded.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. Too easy, actually.
Suspicious.
Garglock turned to Danny.
Are we sure this is the system they are using to protect their assets? According to the videos, this system is usually used by zoos to keep animals in their pens.
Danny shrugged. Well, it's an aquarium. They probably just use what they have, you know? Garglock pulled a piece of printed paper out from his shell.
I guess. Seems weird, though. I printed out instructions for this year's model, too, in case they've updated it.
Rusty clapped his hands and tossed his bowl aside. Gargy, let's test these skills. They went about their trials. Each time they completed their objective, and each time they did it a little faster than the time before. Gargy, you're on fire! 2 hours and 20 minutes to sneak and snatch. Rusty smacked Garglock's shell.
Yeah, you get me there and I'll do the rest.
I still can't believe we're doing this without a pilfering Pete. Enough already, Rusty. The joke's run its course.
Yeah. I don't even remember it.
Gentlemen, Danny commanded their attention and held for a pause. I think we're ready. Let's case the joint tomorrow and plan our play. In the meantime, let's grab some dinner. I know an amazing seafood restaurant which has the most divine crawfish.
Crawdaddies?
Garglock salivated and felt a tad homesick. So, does he go to dinner with the boys, or does he go to his hotel and study?
Fuck no, he goes to eat some crawdaddies.
Crawdaddies.
Right?
All right.
Obviously, I'm gonna get some crayfish.
Garglock's stomach growled a little.
Craving.
You know what? I skipped breakfast. Let's get some crawfish.
The boys laughed a little. With a gait full of confidence, they strode out the door.
Yeah. The end.
You know how,
Sounds good to me.
You know how in movies when the characters feel invincible, that's the best time to bring them down a peg?
No.
It's just good narrative timing. Garglock was laughing with his boys when he saw the tall silhouette in the door. Her shape was immediately recognized by Garglock, and in reaction his neck and legs began to disappear. Like in Back to the Future, or like they went inside?
It's his mother. Come to seduce him.
Danny and Rusty stopped in their tracks after Garglock had retreated. Tess? Danny smiled wide. Tess, what are you doing here? Tess was wearing a long dress with a very high slit.
Uh-oh.
She had those oversized sunglasses you see actresses wear when they don't want to be recognized.
Please, does she have a big hat?
Rusty, it's been so long. Hey, Tess. Rusty met her with a warm embrace. It's been too long. What are you doing here? You looking to have a role in all this?
Wait, I thought, okay. But didn't Rusty...
No, Danny
aren't they together?
is Danny and Tess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She took 2 steps to her husband and kissed him soundly. Danny, you know we're...
thrashing.
Danny, you know we're a team. You can't just run off without your daring damsel. Tess, you are absolutely right. Whenever we need a daring damsel...
Please leave that in. Whenever we need a daring damsel.
Whenever we need a daring damsel, Or a sexy Sue. Yes, or a sexy Sue. Whenever we pull those cons, we need you. But this time I didn't think we would need those skills. Seriously, Danny? You guys just picking pockets or something? What kind of job can just the two of you pull off?
Oh, God.
The room went silent for an uncomfortably long time.
They're just like not moving and not blinking.
Rusty finally broke the silence. You didn't tell her?
Oh,
Danny
man.
spread his arms with his palms out, shrugging innocently. Of course I didn't tell her. Would you tell her? No, I wouldn't tell her. I shouldn't have to tell her. Tell me what, boys? Tess's voice went cold, and she tapped a heeled shoe.
That sounded pretty warm, babe.
Tell me what, boys? Tess's voice went cold, and she tapped a heeled shoe. Garglock watched from inside his shell and took a deep breath.
Hello, Tess.
He pushed his legs through his shell and slowly stretched his neck back out.
It's been a while,
He offered. Tess looked at Garglock and tried to hold back a gasp. She rarely thought of Gargy anymore, and she never considered seeing him again.
Rude?
A flood of ancient memories rushed to her head. She saw herself younger and happier, with a slightly smaller turtle with a far shinier shell.
Aww.
Garglock's voice was rich and healthy. Go on, Tess. Pick a card. Gargy was holding out a deck of cards.
It's a Disney prince.
Tess giggled and picked a card at random. She pushed Gargy away playfully and guarded her card. No peeking now. She studied her card, but it was different than a regular playing card. It had the words, Tess, will you marry me, printed on it. Tess lowered the card dramatically and saw Garglock somehow kneeling with an engagement ring and outstretched claws. Please? He asked.
Oh, God.
Tess tackled him and kissed him deeply. Garglock dropped his cards, revealing the custom-printed deck of proposal cards. So, Danny began. We had an idea for a job, but we would have needed a pilfering Pete, and... Tess stared at Garglock and said evenly, Gargy can't be a Pete. He's a freshwater turtle.
Wait, what? This whole time?
Garglock nodded and asked,
would you like
Yes, I would.
to get dinner with us?
Oh. She blinked, remembering when and where she was. Yes, she cleared her throat. Yes, of course. Let's all get dinner.
Oh.
Yes, that sounds nice, right? Danny
She wants
looked.
to fuck a turtle right in front of her husband.
Dang.
Danny looked at Garglock with a confused glare and put his arm around Tess, guiding her out the door. Rusty waited for them to leave, then approached Garglock. Whoa, crazy, right? Maybe you should go back to the hotel. Let me and Danny get rid of Tess. She shouldn't
Hell
be
no.
here. So, does Garglock have dinner with his ex-wife and partners in crime? Or does Garglock let the humans eat and, I don't know, grab an Arby's or something?
No.
You guys pick.
Arby's.
Oh, but curly fries.
Mm-mm.
Megan, you know you love Arby's.
Mm-mm.
We used to eat all those sandwiches together.
I know, we used to eat piles and piles of sandwiches.
They were 5 for $5.
And we got 15.
Oh, yeah.
We came in together, then left with 5.
15 sets.
Came back in with beards.
More.
5 for $5 for 5 years.
And then we were like, you said more. And I said, I mean, we haven't been here before.
What is this?
5 for $5? 5 what?
That's a crazy deal, whatever.
Oh, I thought you were saying you left with beards, like you stayed in the Arby's so long that you grew beards.
No, we eat fast.
mean, yeah. Oh, yeah, we have to, with the military dad, you just wolf it down.
Yeah, okay. Alright. So,
Oh my god.
are you guys going to eat with
Yeah.
him or
Yeah,
go to Arby's?
obviously we're gonna go eat with Tess. I want it to
Our
be
tastes
weird.
have changed.
Right.
We're not going back to Arby's. We like
Right.
crayfish.
My taste has not
You
changed.
can never go back.
I like those curly fries.
It's fine, Rusty. I'll be cool.
Garglock nodded towards Rusty.
We'll be fine. It's fine.
Garglock watched Danny and Tess walk out the door. Danny must have told a pretty good joke because they both started laughing.
Aw.
Garglock sighed and swore he saw Tess glance back at him between the laughter.
No.
Ooh.
Is he watching me? Can you tell when I'm laughing about him?
Rusty scratched the back of his head. Well, then I suppose off we go. He smiled at his old friend. Hey, I remember you really putting away the crawfish back in the day. Laughing, Garglock added,
Yeah, you should see me with fish. I eat whole families.
Oh, God.
Meanwhile, back at the pond, a few young fish Garglock and Elijah missed were tired of crying and moved on to planning revenge.
What?
In one of our previous stories,
right,
he
those
ate
kids.
the fish, so
Yeah,
now
yeah.
they're planning revenge.
Of course they are. I'm sorry. I'm sleepy.
Is that what you did out in the river, Gargy? Eat your fill? Rusty offered,
the
walking
fuck?
side by side with Garglock.
What a weird thing to ask somebody.
Well, no,
Hey, you
because
been
like that
eating
was
a
like
bunch
his
out there?
retirement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just eating a lot.
he's teasing him.
I know.
All right.
Don't be all mad at me.
Look, are you not getting the deep nuances of this story?
Just get it.
The deep bond that Rusty and Garglock have.
They've got a bond for sure. But he does in a different timeline bite his nose off, so.
Yes.
That about sums it up.
Garglock nodded.
For a while, anyways.
As the four of them sat at their table, Rusty exclaimed when he saw their waiter, Officer Engine, what are you doing here? Officer Thomas was wearing a short-sleeved button-up shirt with a tie. He had a waiter's half apron tied around his waist in a large bow.
Is this the nerdy
I
officer
believe
from
so.
the last time? He stole this guy.
Mm-hmm.
When he saw Rusty and Danny, he did a double take and ran towards them, shushing as he closed the gap. Shh, 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 guys, he whispered. I'm not who you think I am, he winked. I'm just Franklin, the waiter. He looked
Undercover.
He looked behind himself nervously.
Franklin, like the turtle?
Garglock asked.
It's Franklin.
Yes, like the guh. Franklin saw Garglock and nearly spilled the water pitcher he had.
It's pronounced Garglock.
Garglock teased, and Tess laughed.
Always loved that joke.
He added. Danny motioned the waiter closer. Well, what are you doing here? Did you get your fourth strike? Franklin looked to the side and whispered, I can't really tell you what I'm doing, so I'll tell you what I'm not doing. He looked up and stated loudly so all the tables around could hear. Oi, oi, monsieur, coming right up, he said in a French accent. Do you want to hear more of that accent? Page 9, or have you had enough?
Did you just say oi oi instead of wee wee?
I did.
Oi, 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 oi.
Anyway, I'm leaving it in. Okay, so, do you guys want to hear more of the French accent, or have you heard enough?
That's
I don't think I can take it.
yeah, you perfected it. There's
Yeah,
Right.
it's good.
Cool.
You said it so well, the French don't even say it like that.
Yeah, they don't. All right, Franklin leaned down again and whispered in his normal voice, What I'm not doing is going undercover. I am not supposed to infiltrate a ring of Union sympathizers. He stood up again and said in a ridiculous accent, Why, but of course, madame. You can have all the caviar you wish. It's really quite nice. Tess said, a little confused, Mr. Franklin, where did you study your accents? Franklin once again leaned down and said, That scene with the chef and the little mermaid. But anyway. He looked toward Danny and Rusty and winked. If you guys noticed any talk about He got even quieter and said, U, S, and A. Let me know, okay?
I love talking about the US and A.
He got back up and went back into character. Not that a Frenchman like me would have any interest in something like that. And what would the turtle like for lunch today? Garglock didn't know what this guy was talking about.
I'll take 2 orders of crawfish.
Yeah.
Franklin took the table orders and briskly left. His
I want
fake
to know what everybody ordered.
Too bad. Franklin took the table's orders and briskly left. His fake mustache fell on the table and everyone sort of looked at it for a moment and then got back to talking.
Ew.
Tess, who's watching after the boys? Danny asked curiously. Locke is more than capable of babysitting his little brother for a weekend, Tess said. Oh, I don't doubt that. Danny backed off. The question we should be asking, Tess continued, is what's the game plan? Do we need a drifting damsel? Rusty and Danny shook their heads. How about a wailing woman? They shook their heads again. Well, you always need eye bait. You can't run a job without eye bait.
What about a crusty crone? Need one of those?
I didn't think you were going to say crone, but all right.
What?
Huh?
What do you think I was going to say?
Like cooter?
Can you ever imagine me saying that word?
Yeah, we have to say it like cooter.
No,
Yeah.
never going to say that. The only way I'd say that word is if I was talking about a scooter.
A scooter cooter? A cooter scooter. Because when you
on.
ride it all
Move
the...
on.
Okay. Rusty stood up and rubbed his hands together. Garglock, let's go to the bar for a minute. Tess panicked. Seriously? How about a Julia Roberts lookalike? I'll do that again. She's not even pregnant right now. What are the chances we'll run into Bruce Willis a second time? Danny put his hand on hers and Rusty sat back down. Listen, Tess, I don't need you for this one. Danny continued, but those were the words that echoed in Tess's mind.
Aw.
She nodded when she heard a question, but she didn't pay attention. She felt kept.
Mm-hmm.
Tess was an expert in art history. She was a knowledgeable curator and was offered many positions by the United Soviet States Ministry of Culture.
What?
She refused each offer in favor of being a mother. In her deepest thoughts, she knew that her kids still needed all her love. However, they were growing up and needed less and less of her time. She was tethered to the house. Unable to travel to museums or take a full-time job at a university, her life was simply boring.
Sounds like she needs to go live in the river.
Yeah.
Yeah. Garglock looked interesting enough. He had aged very nicely. The creases in his neck, coupled with his rough and callous shell, gave him an air of dignity. His eyes still glimmered with mischief, though.
I can't, like...
She wants to fuck that turtle.
This is so upsetting.
Tess liked that look. She absentmindedly smiled and bit her nail, thinking about what that same mischief had gotten her into 15 years ago. Garglock could never want her. She was still human. She was still human, and he was still a turtle. The motivator in their breakup still existed, and it would never be resolved. Despite knowing that fact, Tess wondered if she could sleep beside a heat lamp.
Like you do.
Sirs, madame, your luncheon is served.
Franklin laid the plates at the table and leaned down to whisper to Danny, "We found them." 3 men in black suits walked into the dining room and quickly surrounded a very nice couple having a very nice lunch. So then, Niles says, can you call it an eye patch if it's worn around your... And Fraser says... In a thick Russian accent, one of the men asked, does he say, time to leave?
I do remember that episode, though.
Yeah. The other 2 men put their shoulders on each of the patrons. What do you mean? Oh, what luck. The notorious lethal lovers. The woman looked up, scared. What are you talking about? Who are you men? She tried to rise, but was quickly pushed back down. Garglock couldn't keep his eyes off her. She looked so familiar, like someone he had forgot. Hush now, Stephanie.
We're a couple?
Hush now, Stephanie. We have some questions to ask you. But let's do that in private. Is your sister nearby? Stephanie dropped her act. Oh, you were like, okay, I got it.
Wait, what did you get?
So the quotes were done right. One, Stephanie is reading, is like recalling what happened in the episode of Frasier.
As we do. Very often. I'm so glad we're in this tale and he thinks we're very nice looking.
Stephanie dropped her act. Oh, you never know when Megan will drop in. Just then, the agents let the 2 of them go and pointed their sidearms to the skylights. Stephanie dropped something while their attention was diverted. Just kidding, comrade. Ha ha, you done got trope slammed. Paul tried to keep her calm. Stephanie, He hissed quietly. I don't think these guys came to play. You worry too much, sexy butt.
Actual nickname.
Don't call me that before we get tortured. A frustrated agent gestured to his men. Let's go. These ones just had their last laughs. I had you, Steph egged on the leader. Come on, admit it. As they walked out of the restaurant, Franklin let out a deep sigh. Wow, she had me. His knees were shaking. Word has it that Megan was trained by a crazy space clown, and after 3 weeks, the clown gave up because Megan made him feel uncomfortable. Garglock scowled. We're out of salt, he said to Franklin. Could you get us another shaker full? Garglock watched the couple get escorted out of the restaurant, and, he noted, the woman had a very familiar scar on her arm. Is that my handiwork? He whispered to himself.
I do have a scar.
It appeared, right?
What is this?
Huh, oh. Franklin stood back and resumed his character. But of course, mon ami. As the young officer left, Danny leaned into the table with Rusty. It's too hot here, Danny whispered hoarsely. We have to postpone the job. No, Rusty looked from side to side. That was supposed to happen. Those two will be fine. Look, Stephanie dropped something for us. Tess leaned in as well. What the fuck are you guys talking about? I almost want to end it there.
Yeah.
You didn't say the Reds are involved. Now you see why I don't want you here. Everyone was still whisper yelling. Garglock leaned in. He stretched his neck out so it was closer to the table. I'm not getting that salt, am I? Rusty silently stood up, never breaking eye contact from Danny, and walked to the fallen object. Why did Stephanie leave? Was it a business card or a key card? So, yeah. Business card or key card?
You think it was a business card?
Business.
A business card?
I think it was a business card.
Looks like it's Megan's turn at the wheel.
Okay. Rusty didn't even try to hide his activity. Everyone was so preoccupied discussing what they just witnessed. He bent down and grabbed a business card. He brought it back up to the table, scratching his head. It's a business card. This revelation was surprising to the table, but not to you, because you chose it. For what? Tess inquired. What do you mean? Rusty flipped the card over. Tess sighed a bit. What's the business the card is advertising for? Oh, it just says Meg and a phone number. Everyone at the table looked at each other. Garglock was the first to speak up. Oh no. Well, are we gonna call it or what?
Perfect.
Rusty nodded, stood up, adjusted his jacket, grabbed a bun from the table and walked out. Danny quickly followed with Tess shortly behind him. Seriously? Garglock asked. I don't have any money! I don't even have a wallet! Garglock sighed and found some shiny pebbles he had stowed away in his shell.
Aww.
You'd have to find another souvenir for the kids now.
Aww.
And it's not spelled.
It's not like Franklin's a real waiter or anything.
Yeah.
That's true. The four of them found themselves back at the warehouse with the mock-up. As he entered the door, Rusty began dialing the number. It's ringing, he informed everyone. What? The woman asked from the other side of the phone. Oh, that's me.
Not like what? Like what?
I recognize my voice. Is this Meg? Oh, is this Meg? Rusty asked. Meg? I hate Meg. You son of a bitch. It was Stephanie, wasn't it? Fuck. Did she tell you to call me Meg? Sorry. Megan, I'm Rusty. I'm with the Resistance. Did I just hear an H in that name? You're a dead son of a bitch now.
What?
In this spelling?
Yeah.
Whoa, I didn't know. Let's start over, Megan, spelled correctly. Then 2 other members of the Resistance dropped a card with this number on it. Shit, really? They were supposed to drop off a key card. She paused. Oh well, I guess it's a smash and grab now.
Smash.
Whoa, that's not really our style. We're more subtle than that. Megan hung up. Danny asked, what was
He
that?
thinks you're crazy.
She wants to go in with a heavy hand. Garglock coughed. She wants to do what? It's an aquarium. There will be people there. Children even. Danny paced. I don't like this. This has gotten away from us. Rusty paced opposite of Danny. Is ours a lost art? Does no one appreciate a little deception? Oh, deception has its value all right, a woman's voice echoed through the warehouse. Garglock sniffed the air. A familiar odor permeated around him. Couldn't be, the woman continued. It's just been upgraded. With a shimmer, Megan appeared sitting next to Tess. Hey, how you doing? She looked her up and down. I didn't know Julia Roberts was one of us. The room jumped and Garglock rushed towards the nearest knife. Garglock somehow knew she was dangerous, like he had seen her do terrible things before. Come on, Uncle Gargy, none of that now. A smaller shimmer appeared over the knife, revealing a fully grown female painted turtle. Garglock stopped dead in his tracks. What are you doing here? His surroundings suddenly became very clear to him. He was in the midst of a war for which he cared nothing for. He was planning a huge heist. There were knives about. It's not safe here, Tishbite. Tishbite approached Garglock, and he could hear his companions discussing something, but he didn't care. Oh, Uncle Garglock, always treating me like a hatchling. She patted his cheek. It's been a while.
How long?
Tishbite? I don't know.
Years.
Garglock stammered.
How long do turtles take to grow up?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Sean. 3 minutes. I guess an hour and a half or however long I've been reading this story.
Tishbite, Tishbite, Tishbite. Without his knowledge, tears welled up in Garglock's eyes. He knew he had missed his family, but he had no idea how much. Tishbite, Tishbite. He blubbered a little, trying to regain his composure. Snapping turtles do not cry. As a matter of fact, I don't think reptiles have tear ducts. What? A sniff. What are you doing here? Oh no, I turned it on to a muppet.
It hurts.
Well, to be fair, Paul must have started this particular voice.
Yeah.
I think it was just said it was like crap or something, probably.
Yeah.
The human started shouting. Rusty had pulled his sleeve up and anchored his elbow to a table. Megan matched his challenge.
Oh my god. It's an arm wrestle?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, Garglock, now who's acting like a hatchling? Tishbite turned, showing Garglock her shell with the pizza painted over it. Garglock noted the harness strapped over that pizza and wondered what its purpose was. Garglock turned around to see Rusty writhing on the floor, holding his hand in severe pain, while Megan stood over him with one foot on his chest. She was flexing her arms and hooting. So, we do this mission my way, she yelled. Garbite, and I got this. Garbite! Garglock asked as Tishbite joined her mentor. It's my code name, Uncle Garglock. It was the coolest name I could think of at the time. Garglock could feel his throat tighten, but he stayed cool this time. Aww. Danny rubbed his hands over his face. And what should we do? Fucking go home. I don't care. Could you use another turtle? Garglock asked. Could she? Yes. Go to page 2. No, page 9.
Sounds like she could.
Yeah, she could use as many turtles as she can get her fucking hands on.
There's many opportunities to continue talking as Garglock.
Yeah, and plus, like, you can't just take over somebody's heist. You don't even know what they're heisting.
Yeah.
Megan?
It's true.
I mean, we do for reasons, but...
Yeah, we totally know.
Yeah. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This tiny turtle.
Tiny turtle?
Tiny turtle.
What's that voice sound like?
I don't know. It sounds like Meatwad. I'm going to take that out.
Don't do that.
Garglock is pretty capable. I can vouch for him, Tishbite offered. Well, if Garbite says you're cool with me. Come on. Megan motioned for the two trolls to follow her. See ya, losers. She shimmered and was gone again. Tishbite also shimmered and disappeared, leaving Garglock walking out of the warehouse alone. See you guys later, I guess. Tishbite appeared again. Sorry, Uncle Gargy. She climbed on top of him and activated her cloaking device, which covered Garglock too this time. Nice. That evening, they sat in Megan's super secret, super spy headquarters. The walls were decorated with various B-tier Disney characters. Gus Gus, Zazu, that girl squirrel from Sword in the Stone, even Clopin.
Oh, hell yes.
Yes.
You know there was a whole wall dedicated to Clopin.
Mm-hmm. Gus Gus.
Worst
picture mouse. With all the corn in his mouth.
I fucking love that he has all the corn. He's so dumb. It looks like cheese, but it's not.
Whenever someone asked her why she seemed to like all these ancillary characters, Megan would always scream about how they were the main character, and then she would break that person's fingers.
You're like a conspiracy theorist, like crazy hermit person.
Luckily for Garglock, he didn't know who any of these people were, so he didn't ask. However, he did note a painting of Rex with a big heart around him.
Like from Toy Story?
Rex?
I mean, when I look up Disney and
That's
Rex,
a really vague name, though.
The only thing that comes up is...
Maybe
Toy
the story
Story.
will tell us.
Yeah.
Okay. Before too long, there was a knock on the door. Megan did her best Hulk Hogan impression. What's the password, brother? I don't want to say it, Paul objected from the other side. Come on, Megan, it's not even consistent. You change it whenever you think of a better password. Just let us in. No. Password now. She threw a knife into the door so hard that half of it went through. Paul sighed. Hold on. What is the password? If the password Paul and Stephanie come up with is something that Megan might think makes a cool password, then go to page 4. If Megan thinks their password is stupid, go to page 10. Oh, so what do you think the password should be?
O'Doyle rules.
All right, let's do O'Doyle rules.
Yeah, that's cool.
I want myself to be
Well.
We used to say that to each other a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, I was thinking honeycomb, honeycomb, what how many honeycomb? But that's an even better password. Come on in. She threw open the door and pried her knife out of the seal.
Oh my god.
What took you so long?
What is that from?
What?
Is that from something?
O'Doyle rules?
No, the honeycomb.
I don't know.
The cereal. You know, the honeycomb cereal.
Oh, the weird little creature thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like he's
I
freaking
remember
out.
I don't remember.
And crack or something.
That was a steel door. I don't know if you caught that, but it's steel.
I did.
What took you so long? Stephanie, Paul said. Shut up, Stephanie objected. She knew deep down that those Russian agents needed to see her roundhouse kick a cigarette out of their mouths. Stephanie could have just kicked him in the face and we could have left, but no, you had to show off.
Yeah.
They needed to know who's boss. Tony Danza? Paul smirked. Both girls yelled, shut up! Even Garglock groaned.
Obviously, Angela's the boss.
I've never actually watched Who's the Boss.
Well,
Ooh.
mistake.
Oh, hey, Paul looked up. I saw you at the restaurant. Yep, I was there, saw you guys get hauled away. Megan interrupted. Look, those losers were Plan A, and us winners were the new Plan A. We're the A-team now. Big Turtle, your face. Garbite, you're howling mad, and I'm Hannibal and Mr. T. Megan cocked her gun. Now let's get the essence, woo! Garglock was confused. Does he ask, what's the plan, or what's the essence?
I want to see what happens if he wants to know what the essence is, because he's going to find out it's Tiny Turtle.
Okay.
Hey everyone, this has been bothering me for a while. Garglock began. What's the essence? The room went quiet and Paul said, Awkward. Stephanie rolled her eyes and addressed Garglock. The essence is the only thing our resistance group can use to bring the country together, to bring back America. Everyone, including Tishbite, nodded. Garglock was not satisfied.
That doesn't answer my question. What exactly is the essence, and why is it at the aquarium of all places?
That's a bit complicated, Megan began. You see, America began its downfall when its citizens decided it would be more fun to argue than to get along. With every new issue that arose, the people decided to take opposing sides, even if it didn't make sense to take one side. It was viewed better as a whole to remain different than to solve the problem. This snowballed out of control, and soon Americans believed that other Americans who had different ideologies were worse than foreign invaders. After that, it was relatively easy to invade. The essence is the last thing that all Americans can get behind. It's the last unifier.
But what is it?
That came out of nowhere,
Garglock protested. It needed to be said.
I don't know if it did.
The little monologue worked, though. Garglock sort of forgot his question, and the following day, the five of them went back to work. As they arrived at the aquarium, Tishbite climbed atop Garglock and activated her cloaking device.
You know what you've got to do, right, Garbite?
Megan asked as she began to go invisible.
Of course. Plan A, baby.
Woo! Garglock didn't know what to do, but he figured Tishbite would tell him as they walked into the museum. The ceilings were huge, and there was a walkway spiraling to the top with a thick glass tube filled with sea creatures in the middle of the walkway. Each wall was littered with small tanks and various animals. All right, Uncle Gargy, we're going to do something called a pilfering Pete. Megan told me about it first. Garglock stopped her.
Tishbite!
Gargbite!
Whatever. We can't do a pilfering Pete. We're freshwater turtles.
Fucking God.
So what? What's the worst that could happen? A large sea turtle swam in front of them, but she couldn't see them because they were all still cloaked.
I'll tell you,
Garglock said.
Liver failure and
blood poisoning followed by death.
Holy
They
shit.
shimmered and appeared suddenly. Tishbite crawled off Garglock. This is bigger than us, Uncle Gargy. She looked at him as people avoided them.
This isn't our fight, Tishbite. I was wrong to get involved. Our river is our home. It makes very little difference to us who leads the humans.
These humans are my friends, Garglock, and it's important to them.
Tishbite, we need to go home.
Don't be such
With
a
a
wet
quiet
blanket, Gargy.
Yeah.
Just get
quiet
blood
zip.
poisoning or whatever.
Yeah, liver failure.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Get it.
The quiet zip Megan rappelled down from the ceiling with a small airtight terrarium. Within was a small bog turtle, a little bigger than a silver dollar.
Aww.
I'm tiny turtle. He had a slight twang to his high-pitched voice. Tishbite turned her attention to the little turtle. Hi, tiny turtle. We're going to be friends, okay? Okay. I like new friends. Hey, want to see me dance?
Hell yes.
I definitely do. But not right now, okay? Right now I have to get you to safety. Megan snapped the terrarium to Tishbite's harness and Garglock growled at her.
You and me, we need to have a quick chat.
Megan looked confused. We do? All right, Tishbite, get into position. Tishbite nodded and shimmered. What's up, old man?
Tishbite can't do a pilfering Pete. That's a sea turtle play. Salt water will seriously fuck her up.
Megan hung there, suspended, quiet. She'll probably
die if she swims in the ocean for more than 5 or 6 minutes.
Megan nodded and added, She's not your child, Garglock.
What?
She's no one's child.
Oh, get over yourself. We're all someone's child. Tishbite is Water Lily and Pepperoni's child.
Megan took a deep breath and unhooked herself from the rope. She knelt down to Garglock. The Russians built a new military training ground on your river, Garglock. When I found Tishbite, she was an orphan. Her brother died in my arms, and I took them. Garglock turned and ran. Megan took a couple steps to catch up to him.
Undo this.
What? Garglock turned to look at Megan.
I knew you looked familiar. We've met before and then we unmet. You're a god sometimes.
His voice began to shake.
Undo this.
Megan strained and shook her head. I'm not a god this time. This time, this is canon.
Hey!
Garglock closed his eyes and screamed at the top of his lungs. Undo this! The aquarium went silent. Garglock stormed out to see Paul and Stephanie occupying more Russian agents. Are you guys gods? Undo this! Go back! Make another choice! Let me die!
No!
He stopped and looked at Garglock. Sorry, buddy, not this time. This time, this is canon. You have one more choice to make, and we can't make it for you. Garglock turned and ran back to Megan. Where's Dishbite? Megan looked confused and angry. She made her choice. Garglock, she knows the risks. Garglock made himself as tall as he could and found his alpha predator voice.
Oh, God.
Where's Dishbite, Megan?
Wasn't the alpha predator like you breathing in and screaming or something?
Well, it was me doing like that kind of thing. So
that's Megan's alpha predator voice.
all right.
Where is it?
You can do that. That'd be good.
Where is Dishbite, Megan? She's at the pier behind the aquarium. Don't try to stop her. Garglock stared into Megan's eyes. You keep her safe. She's your responsibility now. Garglock turned and ran. Dishbite! Dishbite! Garglock called as he approached the pier. God, Uncle Garglock, it's Garbite now, remember? She uncloaked beside him. Hi, new friend. Want to see me do the Charleston? Tiny Turtle offered. I never want to see that. Garbite, there's a new plan. I'm coming too. Dishbite smiled and Garglock continued. Take off the harness. Garglock detached Tiny Turtle and Dishbite removed her harness. Wait, I don't really know how. What? Oh, okay, I see, because she's a turtle. Yeah. Garglock sighed deep as he saw the pizza painting on her shell. Sorry, pepperoni, he whispered and did the forbidden turtle technique on Dishbite. He tipped her over on her shell.
Oh!
Hey, what the fuck, Garglock? Dishbite struggled but couldn't find her feet. Exposed to the world was a beautiful painting of water lily on the undershell of Dishbite.
God, he
Goodbye,
fucking...
Dishbite.
Are you kidding me? He killed Pepperoni and Water Lily and the whatever the boy's name was.
Elijah.
Yeah. And he's telling us what's canon?
Apparently.
I don't know.
He's gone mad with power.
He can't do that.
Yeah. Goodbye, Dishbite. I love you. Dishbite let out a quiet weep. No, Uncle Gargy, no.
Oh, God. Why is he doing this to us?
Garglock took the terrarium in his mouth and splashed into the ocean, making his way to the Resistance headquarters, which he totally knew the location of. Hot dog! You guys are intense. I'll just be working on my moonwalk in here, Tiny Turtle added as they swam away. Dishbite watched upside down as the last of her family left her.
No.
The end. And it says, you can choose another path if you like. It's your podcast after all. But this is your canon ending. Any further stories will be written from this point.
No!
Wow. Wow. Well.
You take any further stories and you burn them!
Hey, he said it was canon.
Everyone's fine.
Look, we can... Who knows? He could decide that, yeah, everyone's fine.
No,
But
he won't. They're all dead.
They might. They
Except for
might be dead.
Gargbite.
They might be dead.
Was he just flipping her over so she couldn't do the mission, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he was
Okay.
flipping over to, like, kill her.
Forbidden
Well,
turtle technique.
I mean, if she's left in the sun like that.
Yeah, I'm sure that you'll come along.
Wow.
Why the fuck did they need them to take Tiny Turtle to headquarters? Why can't they just take him? Why does they
Strange Turtle
kill?
obviously
You obviously
has
aren't
a lot of
familiar with
information.
a pilfering Pete.
I don't understand why they can't just take the turtle.
Because...
I am perfectly capable of taking a turtle, especially if it's tiny, to any destination.
But maybe the tiny turtle would have corrupted you, and you would have tried to keep it for your own.
Well, fine, you'll take it then.
It would corrupt me too.
Megan will take it.
Megan as well.
Nah.
Steph, none of us are as pure of heart enough to take it.
Guess
We'd
what?
have to form some kind of fellowship.
Fucking turtles die. I'm gonna flip a goddamn table.
Like a turtle?
Yeah, it's never
turtle
gonna get
table.
back up.
Well,
Ruthless.
that was an amazing story, Sean.
I'm mad.
I
Oh.
look forward to the next tale of turtle death.
I can't take any more turtle death. I want everybody to be happy all the time. As you can tell from every story I write.
So,
Yes.
if you would like to commiserate with us about the loss of our eternal family,
Like, he just threw it in. Oh, by the way, they're fucking dead.
as Steph will be,
I'm never
You
gonna
can-
get over it.
email us at strangepastpodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can tweet angry shit at us. I mean, with us. At StrangePastPod on Twitter.
Or you can email me all the little outfits you want to dress Tiny Turtle
Aw.
in. bozosglowglobes@gmail.com.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time whenever Steph's less angry.
No, I'll never get over it. I'll never get over it.
Bye.
Bye.